Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Real Estate LP, Atlas. This is the third full-length LP from New Jersey band Real Estate. They started making waves back in 2009 with their debut album that came out on Woodsist Records. An LP that didn't make as big a splash as the Beach Fossils record that was put out in 2010, but was still a major root when it comes to a lot of that faint, reverb-heavy, soft, jangly, inoffensive wallpaper pop rock that has been turning so many heads in the indie rock world for the past few years. And outside of the Beach Fossils LP that came out last year, there hasn't been much in this new rock sound that has vibed with me. Plus, I think the only reason I loved that record is because it did deviate from the usual, very bland formula I feel many of these bands take. This LP was a touch more aggressive, the guitar tones were a bit meatier and tangible, as well as the drums being punchy. Beach Fossils, while they do have music that is pretty hazy and strung out, their live performances are a lot more aggressive, and I feel that that aggressive magic came through on this LP. Bands like Real Estate, however, are constantly in that chilled, relaxed, laid-back mind frame. And I don't mind soft music. But if all of the instrumentation is going to melt together into this blobby, uniform, colorless haze that emotes nothing, then I just have a hard time seeing the point. I'm really sad that that's what passes right now for feel-good and relaxing rock music. Essentially deprive the listeners of a lyric that sticks out that they can react to or be moved by, deprive them of a vocal that might be the slightest bit emotive, deprive them of a bold melody, deprive them of an infectious groove, literally give them nothing to react to, give them no reason for any emotion whatsoever to be stirred up in any which way, and then it'll have to be relaxing, right? If Bliss is really bony guitars and drums thinned out with reverb, delivered with pale musical performances, then give me hell. There are a few moments on this LP that stick out to me, like the cutesy synthesizer melody on April's song, a pretty decent instrumental on this thing. And the guitar leads that open up the song Primitive make for one of the sweetest spots on this entire LP. There's not a bad chorus melody on this song too. And the song How I Might Live is pretty drony, but it's one of the few tracks on here where the vocals are a little pained, a little emotional, and the lyrics are actually very intelligible on the song, and there's a bit of a folky chord progression to this track too. It's an interesting falling in love song, but what really holds this track back is the tempo and the execution. The band plays this song so slow, they play it so daintily that the overall sound of this track is more awkward than it is natural or moving. It's like listening to a recital performance. You know, it's a really left field comparison, but you know what exemplifies like a really relaxing, sweet on the ears, very feel-good pop or rock song to me? Dancing in the Moonlight. Dancing in the Moonlight. The King Harvest track, Dancing in the Moonlight. What a stellar song. What an easygoing, very nice to listen to, intoxicating, very chill piece of music. And yet, the bass line is grooving, it's got a melody that's worth remembering, it's got a chorus that I can't help but sing along with. This doesn't have any of that. And, you know, there are some contemporaries that do come to mind when it comes to this particular sound that I do enjoy. Like I said, Beach Fossils, I dig them. And maybe the new Kurt Weill record as well, but in terms of the psychedelic quality of that record, the length of the songs, some of the weird lyrical imagery too. I find a lot of ambition on that record. With Atlas, none. Overall, I didn't like the last two Real Estate records, and I see no reason to like this one either. I'm feeling a light to decent 3 on this thing. Transition, if you've given this record a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? I imagine that many of you probably don't agree with me, and if you don't, voice your piece. You know, I'm interested in hearing what you think. Cool? Cool. Anthony Fantano, Real Estate, Atlas, forever.